Good morning, everyone. Mike McConville here again, Stratford, Ontario, Canada for String Tech Workstations. So I'm tucking into a couple more repairs here. I've got this Gretsch that needs the frets leveled at the neck junction. I'll illustrate that in a second with a straight edge nut. This is the third guitar from this customer, and this is the third compensated nut. So I'm into my second week now working with this new GPS model, and I couldn't be happier. Again, having those tools sort of tucked away like that, and to be able to just close it up, clip the lid into place, and set it aside for a bit. And the neck platforms are milled out of solid plastic. They're machined, CNC, drilled, and tapped. So this guitar will be set up for these 10 to 52 strings with a plain third. Right now there's a wound third on there. I talked to the customer about that wound third versus plain third, and for someone that is strumming chords most of the time, like 90% of the time, a wound third's a good idea. It intonates beautifully, and you don't get the same amount of displacement on the initial attack strum of the pick. However, with a wound third, you can kiss the whole idea of bending the third string goodbye. So we did settle on a plain third, and we'll keep you in the loop as we move along with this one. Each string will be in a different location because we're going to intonate this guitar so that it plays perfectly in tune. So before I get started, I just wanted to illustrate what we're taking care of. So this, hear that clicking? All the way across that neck to body junction. So this high spot will be leveled, recrowned, and polished, and that'll allow us to sort of bring the action down. Now, another thing I found about working with the GPS unit this last couple of weeks is the straps actually pull the guitar into that foam, and it sinks into the foam, makes an impression of, in this case, the sort of arched back. You can't budge that thing. So we're going to take care of this, dress the neck to body junction, and of course, as always, my Patreon subscribers will get a front row seat play-by-play. Okay, let's get down to business. Get these strings off first. I can't say enough to all of you who have supported me, tracking me down to my workshop from around the world and ordering your String Tech workstations to Denmark and Australia and Malta and France and England and clear across the States. Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe. It's been quite a journey. So here we are. This is it. This is the GPS unit. For those of you who are looking for the real deal flight case, we do offer that. This is the GPS unit. So it's essentially the unit, as we sell it, bolted into a flight case. The neck assembly is tucked into the side of the case here. You pop it out and slip it into place, and you're ready to go. So when the tour is done and you're back home in your workshop, you can just leave it in the flight case. If you want, you can pull out those Miramachi knockdown fasteners and bolt it to your workbench, but honestly, with the weight of it, I don't think you're going to need to. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention was this. On the underside of the case, you have these huge rubber feet. Once you bolt that thing into this case, I don't think you'll ever take it out. Where you set that on your bench and you can plane a fingerboard, do anything you're doing, and it's not going to budge. And that is the GPS in a regulation style flight case, ready to go anywhere in the world. So this is an 8-inch straight edge, and it's a good sort of storyteller. I did adjust that truss rod. We took off the nut because we're putting a compensated nut, but I would remove the nut anyway when I do a full dress, just to give you complete control end to end. So there's our 8-inch, everything's fine until we come up to this neck to body junction, and then we got this. And it's even more pronounced on the bass side. So this whole area here needs to be leveled, recrowned, and polished, and then we'll be able to bring that action down nice and tight. We are switching over to a roller saddle type bridge. The customer was saying it's just impossible, he can't tune the thing. So between the compensated nut, an intonated bridge, and the fret dress in perfect action, this thing will play 100%. Okay, we're all set up now and ready to go. So neck is supported, body is supported, pickups are covered. The neck pickup is removed, wrapped in foam, and then put in that Ziploc bag. When you file frets, you create filings. You don't want the filings to get caught in the pickups. That's kind of a no-brainer. So you take every precaution to make sure that none of those fret filings end up sticking to the magnets. So we've isolated both pickups. That is no longer an issue. As I pointed out a little earlier in the video, we're going to take care of this, the worst part of this, which is a neck to body junction, and then we'll go full length. As first step, so take a second to check that with a straight edge. We're going to go just a little bit further with the file, and then we'll switch over to recrown. You can see that I'm moving obliquely across the neck, like this. For the camera, I'm exaggerating. I'm following the radius of the fingerboard, but I'm moving along the trajectory of the string path as I do that to nail all those high spots. We'll bring you in a little closer so you can really get a sense of how much had to come off at that neck to body junction to get these frets to level out. So again, we'll check it with our 8-inch straight edge. Yeah, that's definitely taken care of it. So this is what the frets looked like after being leveled. So those crowns are now square on top, and that's why we use a crowning file to recrown and chase the crown back to center. So you can see the worst of it's right here at the neck to body junction and up to the end of the fingerboard. Now that we've perfected the frets, now we'll be able to bring this action down anywhere he wants it. Nice with the modern version of this pickup, instead of having a piece of wood underneath the pickup, you actually have a piece of rubber, so it gives you a little bit more adjustment. And leave it to the Japanese to improve on what was already there. This Gretsch guitar, this Tennessean, is done. And so this was the original bridge. This was the retrofit bridge. So there's a roller under each string, and that's why the note comes back to center every time. Although there's indexing pins that protrude out of the top of the guitar and index into the bottom of the feet on both sides, there was quite a bit of slop in them. So I did end up putting a little very thin, clear two-sided tape to kind of hold the bridge firmly in place. This is like a Tone Pro style bridge where it locks to the threads of the post. The original bridge, the actual inside diameter of that hole was so sloppy and loose that it was flopping around against the post. So the chance of keeping this guitar in tune was 0. Now it's 100%. It's not just that it's perfectly in tune, but it will stay in tune because those rollers just go with the string. The other thing that worked out beautifully with this bridge is the strings line up perfectly with the string posts, and the curvature matches the fingerboard. Now this type of bridge, I have in the past, I have shimmed it when I had to shim the middle 4 saddles to get the proper radius, but in this case it was a perfect match to the fingerboard radius. Anyway, Tom's tuning problems are over forever. This thing's super stable now.